Let's talk a little more Star Wars Battlefront. They detailed their $50 season pass. Podcast
Hard
Unlocked,
pass.
home of the season pass haters. But turns out there might be $50 worth of stuff in here, guys.
No.
Yeah.
I love that.
Sick
Dexter with a no.
Some
Yeah.
emotes.
Yeah.
I
I
hard passed. You cannot convince me for any amount of content that
It's a full
$50
retail release.
Yeah,
so
talk to me.
Exactly. Here's the thing, and I totally agree. I think I have two conflicting perspectives about this. Season Pass is $50. If you're gonna buy it, you get a lot of stuff. Like you get functionally more than is in the game now. 4 new game modes, which I disagree that Battlefront needs it all. It's already kind of bloated with game modes, but maybe they'll be great. 16 new multiplayer maps.
16?
That's 3 more maps
That's
than the
a
game
lot.
launched with.
But they say nothing of new planets, so I'm guessing those are not new planets.
I think they might be keeping that vague. I would imagine
So
they'll have like
4 new maps on each planet, or we got some new planets in here.
I hope there's new planets. I hope they're just saying new maps. And surprise, one of them is Bespin, and another one is whatever.
One of them is 0G. What?
Oof.
It's a lot of content.
20 new pieces of galactic tech, including weapons, vehicles, and star cars for Rebels and Imperials. So obviously you're going to get new guns and new ways to get around.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me to see a lot of the stuff we had in the original Battlefront, like a skiff on Tatooine or the land speeder, or
For sure.
stuff of that ilk. You'll also receive 2-week early access to each of the 4 expansion packs. So
So
4
it's divided
expansion-
into 4 content
probably
drops.
4 maps per expansion pack.
Yeah.
Plus, we're getting Jakku for free. So all told, there will be 30 maps in this game.
Wow.
Wow. That is a lot. But it's 30 maps for what turns out to be $110.
Right. So this now becomes my issue. Is Battlefront a $110 game? Because if you're playing Battlefront and you don't buy the season pass, suddenly there are 16 maps and 4 modes you can't access.
If the season pass is $50, my guess is that if you don't buy the season pass, each of the 4 quote-unquote expansion packs will be $15, making it $60. That's just my own speculation.
Yeah,
they
of
haven't
course.
announced pricing, but that would
Seems
seem
about
like,
right.
$15 or buy the season pass and you get a $10 break.
Also, there's new heroes. We forgot to mention that. There are new
Yeah,
heroes.
there are.
I'll have to spend more than 10 minutes
Chewie.
with Star Wars to make that decision.
Yeah. But that's
yeah.
so Halo and Rainbow Six, among others, those are the 2 most prominent new titles that come to mind. They have content that you can buy, specifically more so Rainbow Six than Halo, but neither of those games is charging for maps because they don't want to split their player base. They are giving everyone the maps. But Battlefront, Mitch, is a game we expect to sell millions upon millions of copies. You want to be able to play it with your friends, but it would seem that by charging for maps here, there is going to be a galaxy-sized just
Divide.
chasm
Yeah.
that splits the player base here as these season pass content packs start to roll out.
I'm confident in EA's ability to sell the 13 million copies of this game that it expects to. I'm not confident that the Battlefront Season Pass will do as well as Battlefield Premium.
13 million. Is that a projection?
Yeah, and that's up
They
from,
raised it.
Yeah, it's up from 9. That was
Wow.
their last prediction was 9.
I actually think they might be. I would actually take the
think that's
over on that. I'd
conservative?
take the over on it.
15.
Yeah, on the 13, I would take the over.
Oh,
This
okay.
isn't releasing on last gen, right?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this will.
That's a lot for just PS4 and
And that's the
Xbox
thing
One,
is
right?
like imagine a world where Battlefront is not $110 for everything, where this game comes out now in November and it launches with these 13 maps, and some people think it's a little light, some people are totally happy playing with the modes that are there, the modes and maps that are there, and then in January, a massive map pack drops with whatever 4 maps, 2 modes, new heroes. Okay, cool, that's really exciting. That keeps people coming back. March rolls around, you get a Force Awakens pack with Kylo Ren and Finn and Jakku or whatever other Takodana, other Force Awakens stuff, and then you can start rolling in Rogue One things and other classic trilogy stuff. Maybe you get like an original trilogy version of Naboo like we're seeing in the comics to kind of bring prequel stuff in. There are lots of opportunities to keep people who are excited about Star Wars playing Star Wars.
Totally.
And what they're doing is fracturing the community because of $50. And $50 is obviously not a small ask.
No. That's
In terms of DLC
that's
goes.
the most expensive season pass I'm aware of.
Yeah, and I think there have been other $50 season passes.
Call of Duty as
but
well,
yeah.
I believe, too.
So I think that this, if you're gonna like, as someone who is going to buy the season pass, super stoked. This is a lot of content. Kind of bummed out that Battlefront is $110 though, for me to keep playing all of the content. And I think that-
Do we know when the first piece is dropping?
No, we just know that Jakku is December 8th, and that does not count as part of this.
Like,
but
think about other games that you've spent that much money on, and there are so few of them, right? Like, you've probably spent
Destiny comes
a
out.
couple
Yeah,
hundred
Destiny,
bucks on
Dota
like
2.
Dota, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but how many
Couple
hours
hundred.
deep are you into into Destiny, right?
Destini's a different kind of game, though.
Totally.
Is it?
it's
But
an
at the
MMO.
end of the day,
but
but
all
it's-
time is
does that
equal.
matter?
Yeah,
That's
it
sort of
matter.
that's
All
irrelevant.
time
it's
is
about
equal.
engagement. It's about how often this game keeps you coming back. It's about the things it does to encourage you to play again and again.
So
and
this
again.
is more comparable to like a Halo, not so much a Destiny where it's an MMO, the world's changing,
Yeah,
et
yeah.
cetera, et cetera. So I am concerned about, player base fracturing or separating, and you're going to get that wall. There's going to be people like, I'm not paying the money, and they'll just leave forever.
And how awful is it going to be if you're like, I want to play like on the new Jakku map from the second expansion as Kylo Ren, but nobody's queuing in. Nobody is playing this right now.
Another tactic Destiny used
They're
is
counting on having a big enough player base to have that not be
Sure.
a problem.
Destiny had a lot of hype, and if you bought the collector's edition of year one, you actually got the first two pieces of DLC. So that was a good way to keep players used to the DLC
Yeah,
mechanic
right.
and what it works like. But they did leave a lot of people in the dust. There's a lot of year one players that got totally boned, like just got locked out of everything with the first DLC pack.
Yep.
Star Wars might be making that mistake.
I wonder if we'll see a potential, like on May the 4th, if we'll see a sale on
Yeah.
the season pass,
Or like another one at Celebration next year in July.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we shall see, but this is I was about ready to segue this into a whole conversation about should game prices go up next generation, but I'm going to save that for another
Oh,
show
God.
because I think that's
a long one.
We'd be here for another half an hour.
Yeah.